Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. A lot of news to get into today without wasting any time at all. Let's get straight to it. And let's start with the big news from today. That is from about Jorginho, obviously signing a new contract. And I'm actually very, very happy about this one. Let's start with the news here from Fabrizio Romano. Understand Jorginho's new deal at Arsenal will be valid until June of 2025, one more season. There will be no formal option to extend the contract. Arteta and Edu both really wanted Jorginho to stay. He's more than happy to continue at Arsenal. So Jorginho has finally signed his new contract. There was talks about him potentially leaving. I actually saw a couple of days ago he was linked to his old team, Napoli. He was linked to Lazio as well. Juventus also wanted him. So you can tell that he's still very quality. And most of those Italian teams would have taken him very, very easily. But I feel like he's had such a big impact, more like a big impact than most Arsenal fans expected him to have. And I think he's been very, very comfortable at Arsenal as well. And I was actually very, very confident that he'd want to stay. There was always a chance that he would say, listen, maybe the 1.5 years at Arsenal enough, and now it's time to move back to Italy and enjoy the twilight of my career, the last few years of my career there was always a chance that could happen, but he decided to stay at Arsenal, and I'm actually very, very happy. There's also this, and this is what he had to say about staying. I'm really happy to stay. There was not much to discuss because I feel really good here. Just know that they appreciate me and want me to stay longer as well. It's a big thing for me. I feel that I have more to do, so that's why I'm staying. And it's a huge difference, all the players that we've gotten from Chelsea over the years, within the first year, within the first couple of months, Arsenal fans are asking for them to leave. Like, we can start with Gallas. Like, after a couple of years, people are like, nah, he needs to go. Recently, David Luiz, people are like, nah, he needs to go. He's too old. Obviously, Willian was the most infamous one. Everyone wanted him to go after a couple of months. And even Petr Cech, some people wanted him to go after that cup final against Chelsea. It wasn't good. Most of the players have gotten from Chelsea, by the time it gets to 3-4 months, everyone wants them to go. But for the recent ones, especially Jorginho, it's been quite different. People are actually asking for him to stay. Now, people are also asking for Partey to stay. Some people are asking for Partey to stay. He's been really good. We already know Partey's quality. And in our best 11, Partey is definitely there. But that is not to say Jorginho is a bad player. No, Jorginho has been really, really good this season in games where the opposition and the media expect him to struggle, like against the Liverpool or Man City. He comes in those games and he does well. Like, it was quite worrying, when you didn't have the likes of Partey against Man City and Liverpool. But Jorginho stepped up. He stepped up in numerous Champions League games. I think him and Jesus and I think Trossard are probably our best players in the Champions League this season. And he stepped up. He stepped up every time he's needed. He's passing from midfield, gotten a couple of assists going forward. And he's been really good for us, and the experience as well. And listen, we might not win the league this season, but you're expecting to compete for trophies again next season as well. And the experience that he can provide for us is quite welcome. And this is what Arteta had to say about Jorginho signing a new contract. We are delighted that Georgie has signed a new contract with us. And Georgie is such an important part of our team, a role model with great leadership skills and a unique playing style ability, which makes everybody better around him on the pitch. We are very pleased that Georgie and his family have committed with us, and we are all excited to continue this journey together. So, it works for every party. Majority of the fans want him to stay. The player wants to stay. Arteta is happy for Jorginho to stay. Edu is happy for Jorginho to stay. So it's a win-win-win situation for us. And we know he's not going to play regularly next season, but he's going to be part of the team. He's going to play some of the games next season, and the impact that he has in the dressing room is another very important factor. Like, you can see his connection, the likes of Martinelli and Fabio Vieira and all the other players as well. You can tell that he brings the experience to the team. Also Havertz as well, because they were together at Chelsea and they've known each other for quite some while. So it helps most of our players just to have Jorginho around, and he's a good player. You can call upon him anytime. Whenever we need to bring someone to just control the game, you bring in Jorginho. If Partey's not available, or you want Partey's not available and still one tries to push forward, Jorginho as a player can have there, and he's allowed tries to push forward for majority of the games. And Partey having missed almost the entire season, Jorginho has really come clutch for us, because I'm always wondering, like, if Jorginho's not there and Partey obviously hasn't been there. Like, would have had to play Rice as number 6 every single game, and maybe would have had to stick with Havertz as a midfielder throughout the season. So it should have been terrible. And I remember last season as well, because we didn't have Jorginho at the beginning of last season. We were really struggling whenever Pat is not there. But luckily, Pat was there for a lot of last season. And the time he came to January, we thought he was only going to be here maybe for 6 months, but he had an impact. And this season has been really good for us. And I think he deserves 1 year. After the 1 year, unless he has another unbelievable season and he wants to stay on again, I don't think he's going to stay past next season. So I think Jorginho next season is his last season. And I'm happy for him to stay, really, really happy. So that's the latest news. And that's what I had to say about it. That's what the player had to say about it as well. But those are the players who were staying. Let's go to our plans for players coming in. Obviously, I think it's going to be a very busy transfer window. We talked about several in terms of strikers and the likes of Jesus and Havertz with Kosi on the last video on the channel. And I told him, like, I feel like this is going to be a really, really busy transfer window. Yes, there's a Euros coming up, but in terms of outgoings and incomings, I think it's going to be very busy. There's players who are out on loan that you don't know what's going to happen with them. The Tierney's and Lokongos and all those guys. Is going to be a very interesting one. But this is what Esa Collins had to say about our plans for this summer. Arsenal are expected to continue to back Mikel in the transfer market this summer, and the priorities are a defender, a midfielder, and a forward. Now, the truth is, we have to keep on investing. I did ask on that video with Kosi. I asked, do you guys think it's going to be different if we win the league title in terms of the summer transfer window, or if we don't win the league title in terms of some summer transfer window? Do you think it's just going to be the same whether we win it or not? Or do you think if we win it, it's going to maybe change our approach in the transfer window? Or how do you feel like it's going to go? Now, it could go 2, 3, 4 different ways. Maybe if you win it, they'll be like, hey, this team has really done a lot, but you want to challenge again next season, you're going to buy another 4 or 5 players. They could look at it like, listen, maybe you just need 2 players who now won it, but just to strengthen the team a bit, 2 players will be enough. Maybe Jesus will come good next season. Martinelli will come good next season. So you still have a chance to compete next season. If we don't win it, definitely we will strengthen more, because it's gotten to a point now where you can only afford to maybe lose 2 games at most and maybe draw 3 the whole season. The whole 38, the entire season, 38 games, you have to win like 30 of them and maybe draw 4 of them to win the league title. It's absolutely crazy. You have to win like 31 games, 32 games. Even winning 30 games might not be enough. 89, 90 points might not be enough to win the league title. And the thing is, next season, this summer, I feel like Man City are going to go into it stronger than they did this season, because obviously they sold Mahrez, Gundogan, all those guys left. I feel like this time they're going to strengthen it again, and we have to keep on going with them, because there's always a chance they could get very strong and win next season by 20 points, and number 2 is nowhere close to them. There's always a possibility. But I've had Man City fans talking, and they're expecting us to challenge them next season as well. And we need to keep going, and we need to back Arteta once again. We need to provide, backup for the likes of Saka. We need the players. Every time. One thing that is very crucial in a team as well is that whenever the other players in the team see the manager and the team bring in more like quality players, it also motivates them. It makes them better. It pushes them more, and takes a bit of pressure away from them as well. So it benefits the team in a lot of different ways. Like if Saka sees, a striker coming, and they're like, listen, okay, now the pressure's off a bit. Now, I can put in the crosses. There's someone there who's going to challenge those crosses throughout the game. Odegaard, with his 94 chances created this season, listen, if I create these same chances for a striker next season, this could be this. We could go ahead again and win 2, 3 more games than we did this season, because this season you're going to win more games than we did obviously, if we beat Man United and Everton, we are going to win more games than we did in the Invincible season, win more games than we did last season. You're going to break our goal scoring record once again. Clean sheets, you've had the most clean sheets, you've considered the least goals. So you can't do much more than that. The only thing you can do is just to keep on improving the team. I did say on that video as well, I don't think right now you can improve on Saliba in terms of starting lineup. I don't think you can improve on Gabriel in terms of the starting lineup. I don't think you can improve on Rice. There's only a couple positions where you can improve on and give competition to, and that's maybe the left wing with Martinelli and maybe the forward position as well. You know, I still want Havertz to stay. I still want, obviously, Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, all of them to stay. And then next season, Champions League, we have more games, the Champions League, different formats. We now want to go further in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup as well. So we need all those players in the team. And if you can bring in more players, that would be great. So Esther Collins says we're looking for a defender, a midfielder, and a forward. So let's start with the defender. Which defenders are we looking at now? My priority would be a winger to help out Saka and Martinelli, and then a forward player. Personally, I want all 7 defenders to stay. I know some of you want Zinchenko to leave, but personally, I want Zinchenko to stay. I want Timber to stay. I want Tomias to stay. Gabriel to stay. Saliba to stay. Ben White and Kivio. I feel like our defense is sorted. We've kept 17 clean sheets this season, and some of those players have been missing. I think if Evan is fit next season, we can match the same numbers. Zinchenko doesn't have to start, but in case Tomias gets injured, there's some games he can play Zinchenko and all that. But I know some of you want maybe Zinchenko to leave, maybe Kivio to leave. I don't feel like defensively it's a priority. But again, I've also said, unless a defender that, you know, absolute great defender becomes available that and can help your team and take your team to the next level, 20 plus clean sheets, maybe. And I feel like Branthwaite is one of those players. But you're linked to this player, another player from Ajax. Arsenal ideally want a left-footed defender and remain interested in 18-year-old Jorel Hato, despite him signing a new deal with Ajax in March. Ajax hope Hato will be persuaded to stay for at least one more season, but they are resigned to him leaving eventually. So we are looking at Jorel Hato. He's only 18 years of age. There was talk that we might look for a younger striker. There was talk that we might look for a younger defender to help out for the future, pretty much. Like the defender coming in, he knows he's not really going to start, but he's going to come and help out Gabriel and Saliba here and there. Yes, I understand that. But in terms of money, how much is someone like Jorel Hato cost? That is my concern. If he was like 25 million, then go for it. But I feel like, you know, they're going to push us to give them like 50 million. That is not really our priority. So if he was available for cheap, then I would potentially go for him. But this is a defender that says looking for a left-footed defender. Again, as I always say, players coming from, you know, Man City, Ajax, Brighton, for us, they don't really have too much adaptation to have because they're already used to fast-flowing football, passing it around from the back and all that. So he wouldn't really need time to settle that much. Like a Timber, like I'm sure the time he starts playing again, it just fits in like a glove, just like he did during the preseason and those are the other games that he played, Nottingham Forest and Man City, before he got injured. So Jorel Hato is a player we're looking at. But let me know, would you really be looking for a defender? Some people have had saying they want a fullback. Some people have been saying they want an improvement on Ben White. Personally, I still want Ben White to be a first choice next season. That's not really a priority, but we are looking at Jorel Hato. Now, we broke down the striker situation in that video, so make sure to check it out. It's the last video on the page. I'll also link it up at the end of this video. So let's go to the next one, which is goalkeeper. I think goalkeeper is also going to be a big thing this summer. Raya is going to make it permanent. Ramsdale could move on. We are going to potentially, obviously, get a second choice goalkeeper, so it's going to be a busy one. So this is the latest on Aaron Ramsdale. Newcastle are front runners to sign Arsenal goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale, who is expected to leave in search of first-team football. So Ramsdale, he is expected to leave. Newcastle want him. There's talk about Chelsea wanting him. There's talk about Man United wanting him. Now, ideally, I wouldn't really want him to go to those teams because I still know he's a good goalkeeper. He can still save shots and all that. He might not be the best in terms of playing out from the back, but in terms of quality, the 2 seasons he played for us, let's be honest, man, he was really good for most of it. Yes, he made mistakes in the last season before Raya was bought. But there's some saves I remember, like there's a save he made against Son at Tottenham. There's a save he made against, I think it was Bailey when we won 4-2 at Aston Villa. There's another one against, I think it was Maddison's free kick when he was playing for Leicester. Like, he's a very good goalkeeper. So I hear some of those fans of all those teams that want him like, nah, I don't want Ramsdale. Hell no, if Arsenal are not playing him. But I feel like he's a very good goalkeeper. Listen, if Newcastle want him, Ramsdale plus 25 million, and you give us Bruno Guimaraes, that is absolutely fine. We'll give you Ramsdale plus 25 million, 30 million. You give us Bruno Guimaraes, that is absolutely fine. But I don't think they would do that. But ideally, I want him to get a good team and as a good goalkeeper. But I would obviously prefer not to go to like a Chelsea or to like a Man United or to a Newcastle. Any other team is fine to me. If it's even a Brighton, I'll be fine with that. Even if it's a Wolves or Crystal Palace, no problem at all. But all the best to him. I think he's definitely going to leave. But again, we need to replace him. Now, we've talked about a few goalkeepers that we've been linked to. You haven't touched on Szczesny yet. We are linked to Szczesny, but we'll talk about that in a different video. But another Ajax player. Arsenal are among several top European clubs who have scouted Ajax goalkeeper Ramaj. He fits the profile of goalkeeper Arsenal want, as he's excellent to the ball at his feet, but at 22 is reluctant to give up being a guaranteed starter. So that's another situation where I don't really want to get ourselves into. Like another goalkeeper is going to come and want to start ahead of Raya immediately. Like Raya wanted to start ahead of Ramsdale. Like potentially the plan was. You want a player who's going to be, happy to be a second choice goalkeeper. And the problem is there's not too many who can do that. Chana was happy to do that, but we already knew like if Ramsdale got injured, we didn't really have a very good goalkeeper on the bench. That was the problem. So to get a backup goalkeeper, you either have to go for a very young goalkeeper or like a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, or you go for like an experienced goalkeeper like 34, 35 who's happy to, finish his career like on the bench for the next 1-2 years. I don't know which direction you're going to go. Would you guys get competition for Raya? Would you want a younger goalkeeper to come and back up Raya? Or would you want, the next one, which is the older goalkeeper who's about to retire, but is going to bring experience and help out Raya and not be too worried about not starting games. So it's going to be interesting. But you're going to break down goalkeepers more in different videos. The last piece of news is the Premier League Player of the Season, Young Player of the Season and the Manager of the Season nominees are out, and both Declan Rice and Odegaard have been nominated for the Player of the Season. They're amongst the 8 nominees alongside the likes of Isaac, Haaland, Foden, I think Watkins, Palmer, and missing one player. I don't know. I don't remember who it is. I think Van Dijk. I think Van Dijk is on the list as well. Yes. And so Rice and Odegaard have been nominated. Personally, I would vote for Rice. I absolutely love Odegaard. Is my favorite Arsenal player, but Rice, in terms of impact this season, I would want him to win that. But I don't know if he's going to win it. Unless we win the league, that's when he's going to win it. But if Man City win it, I think they're going to give it to like a Phil Foden or someone. But in terms of Young Player of the Year, both Saka and Saliba have been nominated there alongside Palmer once again, and players like Maynard are on that list as well. Again, that could go to Palmer, that could go to Foden. Saliba's had an incredible season. Saka has been great since January, but obviously, and his numbers have been great, but obviously in terms of some of the performances hasn't been like to the level where I've seen the last couple of years. But he's still on the list, he's still producing, and Saliba in terms of clean sheets and the impact he's had this season as well, I think I'll personally vote for Saliba and Declan Rice. But if Odegaard and Saka win it, I'll be very, very happy as well, as long as it's an Arsenal player. And obviously, Mikel Arteta has also been nominated for Manager of the Year alongside Emre, Pep Guardiola, Klopp, and Iraola as well from Bournemouth. So if we win the league, I think Arteta gets it because we'll have scored the most goals, most clean sheets, consider the least goals. Like the kind of performances we've had this season, absolutely incredible. I don't think we've lost to any top 6 team as well. All those records have been really, really good. So I'd love him to win it as well. But I think if Guardiola wins it, I think he's going to get it if he wins the league. So it's going to be interesting though. But make sure to vote for them on the Premier League website. Let me know what you make about all that. A lot to cover today, but I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you make about all that. Thank you for watching. I'll catch up with you on the next one.